how it started with the Zeeland system. We had this nifty little software which was kind of custom programmed, and you search a street, check sanitary, click search, brings up about 30 as-built that it possibly could be, but you're really trying to find that one and the most recent. So it's very cumbersome to dig through that. You have to go to your computer to do it. You have to have all the files stored there. You finally find it up in the directory, click on it, and just hope it's the one you're looking for. And then if it is, good job, but usually you're searching 20 times. So that's how it used to go. That's how it started. And this is how it's going now. I'm sure you've all seen maps like this. I'm going to find that same pipe on Roosevelt Street here. And you can just go in and click on it. Facility ID, the size, the invert elevations, condition rating, useful life, any notes you want to put on there. And then at the bottom there, we chose just to do the most recent as-built because that made more sense than attaching all of the as-builts to it. And just zooming in on the right pipe. So as you can see, that's so much easier and faster than doing it the other way. And then we also added a feature where we attached the sanitary televised videos. And this was just done in a cloud storage link on OneDrive. Very easy for Doug to access his videos. We haven't linked all of them yet, but we have a small sample size and it's working well. And then another perk of GIS and geolocating assets is doing it in the field while it's being constructed. So that's the City of Granville Clean Water Plant shown up on the top right, where actually our inspectors out there, every time they bury a pipe in the ground, they're locating each bend, and then it's immediately uploaded into our GIS software back at the office. And then if you just refresh the map, it'll show up instantaneously, really. And then we can use that to import into CAD and draw as-built. Everything's just much more accurate, and you can attach like notes about that if they had to add something to it or change the design, stuff like that. And then after the project's done, you can take that information and modify the attributes about them and change the map to update it. And then, as I mentioned before, that link to televised videos in a cloud storage location. You can also do that. And there's other softwares out there that can automatically do that for you if you hire them to televise or use their software to televise. So here's an example of that real-time as-built collection. This is at the Granville Clean Water Plant, currently doing a sludge handling improvement project. So that's a pipe, sanitary force main pipe, 45 through bend. Gives you an elevation, and those units that we use are accurate. An inch XY, centimeter, and then a few inches vertically. So much more accurate than stringing a tape measure from a building that might get knocked down in 30 years. That's been really handy. All of our inspectors have adapted well and actually really like it now. And then, yeah, you can take these points, import them into CAD. So you can take your design drawing and then move the pipe to where that GPS shot is, so you know it's right there, rather than just going off the old school tape measurement off 2 points and then figuring it out in CAD. It just streamlines everything. It's nice for the engineers, nice for the inspectors, and it's also nice for the owner of the treatment plant that their as-builts are accurate and they know where their stuff is. You can also do many other things like make custom layers on GIS. So for Zeeland, we have an IPP monitoring manhole layer where the operators can go take their sample or fill out their monthly report and upload it to GIS. So it's all stored in that one singular location. We have a manhole for each of the IPP users in the system. And as Brett mentioned earlier, Esri and Autodesk have been collaborating a lot more. And it seems like every week there's a new webinar coming out. So it's kind of hard to stay on top of this stuff, but there's a lot of cool collaboration going back and forth. And then this is one of the most fun parts of the presentation because it's in 3D, something to look at. But this is also in Zeeland at the treatment plant. We took our CAD model, which we already had for the design project, and we just broke up the pieces in it and then put it in a GIS web scene. And you can click on that turbo blower right there, and you can see all the attributes about it: the model number, capacity, the motor, install date, expected life. You can even have like maintenance tasks associated with it. And if you get real fancy, you can color code it if a maintenance task is due, have it light up red. And then also you can link your SCADA screen to it as well if you have your integrator set that up. So you can click on a blower, click the link, and it'll bring you to your SCADA screen. And you can separate as much as you want. Like we just did each pipe run, and then valves, mag meters, motors, pumps, all that separately. Electrical gear, that's a transfer switch right there. So it's really customizable. And if you have someone that knows how to code, you can get crazy with it. And then I'll turn it over to Brett to talk about a big project he worked on at the City of Grand Rapids.
All right, so yeah, as we mentioned before, the partnership between Esri and Autodesk has really been paying off for reasons like this. I know probably a lot of you already have 3D models that would be in CAD and, through the design build process, and you have somebody in the GIS side of things that it's a little bit, it's really not that difficult to take those models and bring them into GIS and kind of build off of those and make some really cool applications. This is an example of not only that Esri and Autodesk partnership, but also just where we're at in the world today in technology, and 3D being actually not something that's just shiny and cool to look at, but that can actually be used and be functional. So what we're looking at here we had a project with the City of Grand Rapids, and they were wanting a more innovative way to view their parking structures and manage those for asset management plans. And what's tough about parking structures is the ramps that in 2D and GIS, they're stacked. And it's kind of hard to know and tell the difference between different floors, and it's not very intuitive. So we were able to leverage some of this newer technology to bring in these models from CAD into GIS and attribute them and put them in a scene like this to make it a little more intuitive and to support their asset management plans. So as you can see from the video that you can pan around, and we have all the different structures on different layers, so you can turn things off and on. They're also attributed, so it's easy also to symbolize a whole parking garage based on conditional ratings. You can tie in as-built drawings to these as well, and just further provide. Oh, we're losing our screen.
Thank you.
So anyway, well, yeah, so you can provide much more intuitive experience for decision makers to look at. And then lastly, the 3D kind of leads us into the whole digital twin. Again, with the 3D technology becoming more usable and functional and not just something cool and pretty to look at, digital twins offer another layer, I guess I'll say, for part of your project where you can use for process modeling and things like that. You can feed those models into a scene like that, and just help to look at your system overall in a different way. And then also augmented reality, same thing as 3D, has kind of come full circle and become more usable and not just a cool concept of the science. What you're looking at here is it's from a company called GIS, who's partnered with Esri. And this would be something that back in the beginning of the presentation, where we've gone out and located all our assets, has a good solid base. That's something then that we can feed into a program like this. So that way, when you're out in the field, again, not only can you look at a map, but you can look at and see what's in front of you and pull up information about your assets in that way